Hey guys, welcome to my April wrap-up. Look, I made you guys a little sign. I thought I would do this kind of differently since I don't have the books with me anymore since they went back to the library already. Obviously I'm kind of behind in my wrap-ups. I don't know if you noticed that. So I'm going to just show you the book cover like as a picture on the internet so that you can have some visual at least. So I read 8 books in April, which is I guess less than I have been reading. I don't know, still pretty good obviously. So the first book I read was Aquamarine by Hoffman. This involved mermaids, as you can see. Mermaid. I gave it 3 stars. It's about 2 girls who are best friends. One's moving away and they're sad about it. And they find this mermaid in the pool after a big storm. And they just have adventures after that. So it's basically the same as the movie with, where are they? They're here, with these 3 girls in it. And I like the movie too. This is actually a series called, I don't know if you can see it, The Water Tales, but I won't be continuing it. I think reading Aquamarine was enough. However, I would like to read more Alice Hoffman because I quite like her books, her writing style, that kind of thing. The next book I read was The Big Book of Grimm by Jonathan Vankin. I gave this 3 stars. It's a graphic novel of a whole bunch of different fairy tales written by the Brothers Grimm, hence why it's called The Big Book of Grimm. It had over 50 tales in it. Each tale, fairy tale, was drawn by a different artist, so you got to see a lot of different drawing styles, which was nice. Yeah, pretty violent stuff in there. They have blood squirting across the cover. Of course, the fairy tales are violent and stuff. I guess they're cautionary tales, I guess, more than just stories. But they were also pretty funny in a way. I guess I have pretty grim sense of humor. Aha, aha, aha. I don't know if I can show you any of the art. There's some right here. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that very well. Or possibly this one here. Or this one. This one is Tom Thumb, the little thumb-sized boy. The next book I read was The Unwelcome Child by V.C. Andrews. I gave it 5 stars. I give most of her stuff because it's just so dramatic and I love the drama. This is about a girl dealing with there's a picture of it better. Ooh, she's the forbidden author. This is about a girl dealing with a harsh family, making friends, going to school for the first time, but very dramatically, like I just said, that's the way she rolls. It was fast-paced, it flowed nicely. All of her books do that. I find them very quick reads, which probably helps me enjoy them more. The next book I read was My Life in France by Julia Child. This one right here. I gave this 3 stars. It was an autobiography of Julia's life in France, during her cooking school years and the years she was making her cookbook. To read this because of the movie Julie and Julia, which I think they used this book to help make that movie, the story for her part of the story or of the movie. And I like that movie a lot. I think it's really good. My favorite part of that movie is the Julia part compared to the Julie part. I think it's because I like historical stuff and that part was set back in time. Yeah. The next book I read was The Story of My Life by Helen Keller. Right there. I gave this 3 stars. This was an autobiography of Helen Keller. How she learned to communicate and read, and because she's blind and deaf, and then her friendship with her teacher and her family life, and I thought it was all very interesting. It also included part of it was her telling the story, but it also included her teacher telling the story. And it also included letters that Helen had written to various people. The next book I read was Charlotte's Web by E.B. White. Right there. Pictures by Gareth Williams. I gave it 2 stars. I thought it was okay. It kind of like dragged a bit. Kind of blah. This is about friendship between a pig and a spider. The spider's name is Charlotte, which I never really dawned on me before, even though clearly it's written like her web. Anyway. I also like to read Stuart Little by the same author. Although I didn't really like this one, I don't know if I'll like that one, but still they're like classics, so I want to get to some classics, some children's classics. The next book I read was the Odyssey graphic novel by Gareth Hinds. This thing here. I gave it 3 stars. It was a graphic novel adaptation of the Greek epic poem by Homer. I wanted to read the real Odyssey or whatever, but I know that I'll never go through that because, it's written the way it's written. So I figured that I just grabbed the comic book version so I could, still get the story. I thought the illustrations were really nice. Here's an example if you can see that. I don't know. Yeah. So this was about a man trying to get home to his family following the Trojan War, and he keeps running into like all sorts of difficulties, basically. And the last book I read in April was The Collector by John Fowles. I gave this 5 stars. I liked it a lot. It had kidnapping in it, which is a theme I like to read about. I don't know. It also had dual perspectives, which is a thing that I don't usually like, but I thought it worked really well in this book. Like the way it was done. So the boy kidnaps the girl and tries to get her to, love him, but how will it end? Dun dun dun. Who knows? The girl's part of the story is told through diary entries, which I super into. I think that's a really cool way of telling a story. So those were all the books I read in April, and I hope this turned out fine the way I filmed this, like instead of, me being in the shot holding up the book since I didn't have them, so I just figured that I would show the picture anyway. But I know filming on the computer it often makes like lines and stuff, so I hope I didn't do that. And I will see you next month, or actually next month, hopefully this month since we're in June, and I would like to get caught up to my wrap-ups. So look forward to my May one, hopefully coming soon, once I film it. Okay, see you next time. Woo!